we're going to tie the turbo German up from the clubcarp box, commando tackle. I'm going to start off with the tripwire, 20 pound braking strain, fluorocarbon, that they sent in the box. I mean, first impressions, obviously it's fluorocarbon, so it's a bit wiry when it comes off, like most fluorocarbons, but put it tight and rub it between your finger and thumb. It does straighten out nicely, this stuff. Yeah, that's actually quite nice. Straightened out quite nice, that. There are a few you get that don't straighten out. We're going to cut a fair length of that off, and we'll cut the jagged end off where it was clipped in, so we start with a nice fresh bit. Now they use on the rig card, and what they've sent you is the quick change spinner swivels. Now to me, a German rig is mainly for wafters, not pop-ups. It doesn't mean you can't use it for pop-ups, but what they've sent you in the box is one of these, and it's got the rig ring on. Now usually when me personally tie turbo German up, you tie it with there's a different Ronnie swivel there, or spinner swivel, without the rig ring on. That's how I'd normally tie it up, so it's straight onto the end of the swivel rather than the ring. But we'll tie it up with their one, with what comes in the box. Anyway, they use a 5-turn half blood knot on this, so that's what we're going to use. I mean, it does give the ring does give the swivel a bit more movement. What I'm doing is wrapping it round the back over the line 5 times, and then back through the loop that you first create when you put it through the ring. Here we go. Make it, moisten it down, put it down gently, so not to kink the fluorocarbon. Get your rig puller, make sure it's nice and moist, and put it down nice and tight, and you have a nice little knot. Oh, you might be able to see it on my jumper. Nice neat knot. And we'll cut that tag end off reasonably close, but I like to leave, when I'm use the blood knot, I like to leave a little tag end, just in case. You never know. I mean, sometimes I'll blob it, most of the time I won't, and I'll just leave a little tag end. So we've got that, that's our main bit, and then you've got a figure of 8 loop knot at the other end. I mean, I like mine to be roughly 7-8 inches, so I'll measure it up to about 7-8 inches on the old board there, and we'll tie a figure of 8 loop knot. You just double it over, double it over again, so you end up with a loop, single loop there, and then 2 loops there. And what I do, I bait needle, put it through the back, twist that one, and then pull the single one through the two, like so. So you end up with a nice little figure of 8. Again, moisten it and then pull it down nice and tight with the puller tool. And what you do, get your other puller tool out, put it in the rig ring and pull that down. Make sure it's nice and tight. Can't remember who said it. If you go like that and it breaks, that's when it's going to break then, rather than when you're actually playing a fish. So we'll tie this one up, cut the tag end off. It's me dropping my scissors as normal. Basically that's all you've got is your boom section, which is the same as your Ronnie, but then we've got your size 4 dagger long shanks that were in the box. If I can get one out, there we go. They're dagger long shanks. Hopefully you can see it a bit better here. You can see it's got a beaked point on this long shank rather than a straight point. So we've got that. We want hook bead, one of their extra strong ultra grip hook beads. I've used these before, they're good. They come on a little adapter thing, so you don't lose them. And use a bait screw. Again, it's all personal preference. I mean, I prefer swivel rather than a bait screw, just because it gives that extra little bit of movement to the hook. It means it can swing round and catch hold a bit easier than it does with these bait screws with the oval rings on. I'll show you that. It's got an oval ring on it there which goes on the hook. What we do is we put that on the hook, thread it on nice and carefully so we don't, there we go, turn it around, there we go, like that, so we can thread it on without damaging the hook point. Then we'll put one of these hook beads on, which can be a bit fiddly, but when you're using these types of rigs all the time, you do get used to it. I usually use the turbo German on a wafter rig, but this time it's for a pop-up, so I get a bit of their shrink tube. I know they're at the winter show today, so we'll cut a bit of the shrink tube off. We'll just put that over the eye, put out and then shrink it down later. Over the eye. Put this on there. See their hook's got a their swivel. Spinner swivel's got like a ring on it rather than a C or a thingy. Okay, this bit could be a bit fiddly with this type of swivel. Ronnie swivel, right, that's on. Put the shrink tube down to where it would be. And there we go. That's basically it. I'm not going to show you shrinking it down because I ain't got the kettle on all that at the moment. But that's designed to sit up like a Ronnie, really. in my eyes. But they've tied it, so that's how we'll tie it. Obviously you just shrink that down. And I can do that now, I will do it now, I'll do it with a lighter quickly. Always be careful not to burn your fingers or the hook link. There we go. Just hold that still for a little while. That's why it cools. And that will sit like that when it's in the water. And obviously because you've got the screw rather than a swivel, the hook actually moves with the bait. That's why I like the swivel, because then the hook can move independently and that. But there we go. See, that's their version of a turbo German. Won't catch its hold as normal, but like I say, I'd use it with the other swivel and that rather than that one. But it's all personal preference. Right. Hopefully we'll try this down at Goal. I think that's a barbed hook, so I've got to have somewhere I can use barbed hooks. And you can't use barbed hooks at Lynn. Right, until then, tight lines, wet nets, and hopefully we'll see you on the bank soon.